Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and this is episode 2 as I play and take on the role of the Others, the Night King's army, in the Song of Ice and Fire mod for Hearts of Iron 4. This is a Game of Thrones mod, and with Game of Thrones debuting yesterday, I'm pretty excited to continue playing this, though I'm certainly rooting against the Others in real life. Well, on the show, I guess it's not really real life, but basically at this point, I'm going to just kind of hold my own here north of the wall against these armies because I've gotten allies now. This war's gotten much bigger. And House Lannister, House Greyjoy, and House Tyrell are all on my side. We've actually got a larger force than the Crown Lands, the Tullys, the Baratheons, the Boltons, the Karstarks, the Mormonts, and the Starks. So we're just going to hang on until things get a little easier, and then I can start advancing south once he has had to shift sufficient numbers down to deal with some of the other threats that he's got to face. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, so it looks like I might have enough of an advantage now to go ahead and launch an attack. I added 6 new divisions that I was recruiting, but I'm out of manpower. But it looks like I've got what it takes to be able to push this a little bit. So problem is my my side, which includes the Lannister-Tyrell alliance, is losing a lot of men. They've got an advantage in manpower, but I don't know how long it's going to last. All right, we're pushing through. Let's see how things look down here in the south. You can see, obviously, House Mormont has capitulated. Dang. So the fight is all the way along this line here, so they're awfully close to being able to take Storm's End. That would actually be really good news. All right, we got to push down in here, take this territory back. I don't have a lot of men to spare. I've got 615,000 in the field, but no manpower to replace them. So I don't know if there's any point at all to changing my conscription laws, how much that would really help. I guess we could check that out. Yeah, it looks like I could do that. Service by requirement to all of the dead. Not entirely sure that's going to make any difference, because that's not really how I get my soldiers, but once I can get down here and take some more of this territory, I have a national focus where I can revive Hardhome, which is that famous scene you see if you're familiar with the TV show where the Night King raises his arms and raises all of those people that they've just killed. So that's going to be an important part for this, for me, and it looks like we're making our way down there. I'm down to just 582 in the field, though, so I'm losing a lot of men. And we've lost 1 million more than they have. That cannot continue. The Starks have only lost 150,000 total. But we are pushing in the right direction. All right, we've made it to the wall, at least over on this side. We're on the doorstep to Craster's Keep. We're pushing down through here. Once I think Hardhome's over here. So if we can get up to there, then I think we'll be able to do that national focus, which is right here. Yep. Getting super close to that. Let's look at the war now. It's still pretty even. The losses are happening at pretty much the same rate. We're up to 2 million losses on my side, which is insane. But as long as we keep taking territory, I think we'll be okay. My manpower's gone up now, and you can see I'm back up to almost 700,000 in the field. So that's some good news. So Craster's Keep is a entity all of its own, so I've gone ahead and started justifying a war against them. It's only going to take 25 days. So that'll be November 22nd of 1939, and by then I should have taken all the surrounding territory. We are up to the wall. Here's Castle Black, and the attack's about to commence on that. I need to get these guys up here to take Hardhome so I can raise 10 more legions of whites, which is going to only help me. The war's still 0%. The numbers are actually getting worse as far as losses go. So insane amounts of losses happening right now. Looks like we've got some men surrounded here, and hopefully I can take this territory before I declare on Craster's Keep, which I'm going to do here in just a second, as soon as I march into this territory. Oh, we've crossed the wall. All right, now we do have a ability to do another national focus. Let's revive Hardhome. It's going to give me 10 more legions. And let's go ahead and declare on Craster's Keep now. That'll be a real quick one. How long is this national focus going to happen? So once this happens, we're going to get 10 more legions and a new general. I guess I don't really need a claim on Castle Black when I've already all but taken it. Craster's Keep is capitulated. All right. Doing some more research here. None of this really matters a whole lot as the Army of the Dead because pretty much everything is kind of self-contained. All right, we got to take these couple of territories so I can get these other forces down there. And then we're going to have a much larger force. Castle Black has fallen. Really, the dead are just marching south at will at this point. And then to get 10 more legions is only going to make that even easier. And then we'll just kind of have to reset the whole army, I think. There it is. The Army of the Dead has raised 10 new legions. And we're going to have to kind of divide these guys up into a couple of different armies here. Actually, I guess we're going to have to start another army at some point. We're a little too big on those guys. Prepare to breach the wall. Not that that matters a whole lot at this point. But let's go ahead and reset things. Now that we've breached the wall. And now we're pushing into the territory held by my enemies. I'll have to decide who I want to go after first. Winterfell, the Dread Fort, or Carhold. Whew, this is happening fast now. I'm just pouring into his lands. I've got over 1 million now in my army. Actually, right at 1 million. My fielded manpower is just enormous. And we are actually already almost on the doorstep to Winterfell. I'm not sure what national focuses I have left that I can do anything with. We're already at war with these folks, but there may be at some point some more ability to raise armies, which would be fantastic. I'm not sure what's happening here. I've got a bit of bulging in the line. Somebody got a little ahead of themselves, so I might have to fix that. Winterfell has fallen to the Army of the Dead. It's July of 1940. I'm also just about to take out the Karstarks and the Boltons. You can see something happened, and I don't know what, but I suddenly got a huge influx of manpower. My manpower was down to about 50,000, and it suddenly shot way up right about the same time that this new national focus became available. So whatever happened gave me a big jolt to my manpower, which I desperately needed because I was just about out of it. And it was not going well for the allied armies because you can see for the first time he's got nearly or maybe a greater fielded manpower than I do. But the war's going in our favor. We've just lost tons of men, most of it the Lannisters. I've lost 1 million in my army, but I've still got 1.22 million in the field right now. So it's really only a matter of time, I think, until the Army of the Dead is able to successfully conquer all of Westeros. We'll see what happens once I have to take on the folks that are fighting on my side. Oh, Dorne wants to send 2 divisions as volunteers to help us out. We'll always take that. Thank you very much. All right, time to start our atomic research. I guess that would kind of be like having a dragon or something, I suppose. We've just about pushed to the battle lines that I kind of set out when I started my invasion into the south. I want to take out these 2 houses here completely before we continue to push south into the Stark lands. You can see now things are still pretty even numbers-wise, but I continue to push south. Looks like the Tyrells are not doing so well. Oh yeah, the battle line has pushed way back. It was way up here before, so as good as I'm doing in the north, the folks that are fighting against my enemies are doing just as badly in the south. The good news is I'm producing enough weapons that I'm very quickly able to rush more and more units into the field. The bad news is my manpower, because I'm able to rush them in so quickly, my manpower is starting to get low again. And we're running into some real issues trying to finish off the Karstarks up here. But it looks like things are finally starting to go my way a little bit. I'm going to just kind of even out my armies a little bit here. But we're now up to 96 divisions total. I'm starting to get some air units as well, but he's got air superiority at the moment. I'm just trying to produce as many fighters as I can. But things are just not at all going well in the south. The Tyrells and Lannisters are being pushed all the way back to the sea, and it looks like they're not going to last much longer, which is certainly going to put a damper on things for me. I still don't have any national focus that I can choose at the moment. So we got to try and finish off the Boltons and Karstarks as quickly as I can. That's bad news. House Lannister has capitulated. So things not at all going well there. They're out. We're down to just 2 million men. Now he has superiority in numbers. Yeah, that's bad. We're down. We've got Stark halfway out, but things are at a standstill right now, pushing forward toward the Starks because I'm so busy trying to deal with these guys over here. I'm just afraid I'm not doing it quickly enough. House Greyjoy has joined the Crown Lands. Oh, man. The Greyjoys have flipped sides. And it looks like they gave the Tyrells and Lannisters their land back, but that war is over. So now it's everybody against me. Joy. All right. Well, that's going to be interesting. So I'm going to make some changes to my undead divisions. I'm going to start adding some tanks, as well as support artillery, recon company, and engineer company. I've got to do something to start improving what I can do with my limited resources. So this means I'm going to have to start producing tanks. You can see I'm just with those 2 added battalions of tanks, I suddenly need 8,600 tanks just to fill those needs. So we're going to do that. We're also going to have to start producing some artillery, and then eventually start swapping out infantry for mechanized. But it's going to be a slow process. But I'm just thinking ahead to what I can possibly do to maybe give myself a chance in all of this. In the meantime, I've got to import some resources accordingly. All right. Well, for a while there, things were going very badly, and they've actually pushed back quite a bit, especially the Boltons. But it seems like all of a sudden, they've pulled all their forces out. There's only a couple of divisions here fighting against me. I lost some divisions in this fight, but all of a sudden, it just seems like he pulled everybody out and gave up on defending the Karstarks. And after months and months of him pushing me back, he just left the door wide open, and I'm going to march right in and just take out the Karstarks. My manpower is very low, and it seems like maybe he pulled out from defending the Karstarks in favor of making a more concentrated effort up here to defend the Dreadfort. I don't know, but for now, that's where things stand. I just don't know if long-term I can really do anything. I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle when I'm taking on all of Westeros at once. Here now he's starting to put up a fight. So I should have thought of this before because I'm maxed out on political power. So I'm boosting the fascist party ideology in all of my enemies' territories. House Stark, House Tully, House Lannister, House Tyrell, House Baratheon. I guess we should go with the Crown Lands as well, where Stannis is in charge. And eventually maybe we'll get some coups going in all those places. And that'll at least slow him down. Because right now he's once again counterattacking, and I'm not really being able to hold now. He's got too many forces that are coming up at me, so I may need to pull back and try to defend right here again while I work on those other things. All right, I'm issuing a fallback order to right here in front of the wall. Maybe I should go behind the wall. I don't know. I'm just looking to see what the territory looks like. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's all the same. So we're going to fall back, and hopefully the shorter defensive line will work out better for me while I work on boosting fascism in all these places. Let's see how fast it's happening. Well, it looks like it's going up fairly quickly, so that's some good news. Yes, send me some divisions to help out. That'd be great. So we're going to try to hold on while we find another strategy to deal with these people. How about stage a coup? It's not going to be a very strong coup if I don't first build up the ideologies. All right, we'll get it going. At least there with the Starks. Maybe also with the Tullys. Oh, we definitely need to get a coup going with the Lannisters because they're actually at 52% fascist right now. House Stark, it's a little bit lower. It's at 25%. But either way, these coups should be at least somewhat disruptive given the percentage of fascists that we've been able to get going in those territories. I got these divisions from Dorne that came to help out and from Norvos. And they decided to sit down in here rather than coming back to my fallback line. So I went ahead and sent some divisions in there too. I'm not really sure why I'm doing that, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pull them back while we wait for the coup to start. All right, well, I think Dorne just declared war on all of my enemies, which is very good news, especially with, yep, they did. Now, they're not very big. 41 to 75 divisions. Up against, of course, we're dealing with about 4 million on the enemy side against our less than half that. But the good news is that coupled with the coups that should be coming fairly soon, I think in November, if we can just get Dorne to hang on long enough, that'll actually maybe give me a chance here. Because I've pulled back to this line. Maybe he starts pulling some of his troops down to deal with Dorne and we can start pushing forward again. But I'm probably going to wait until the coup starts to do that. In the meantime, I think we're going to get some land forts going here. Right along this line so that if he does start coming after me, he's going to have a hard time with it. So I'll start building those up. We're going to wait for that coup, and then maybe, just maybe, we start advancing again at that point to kind of support those coups. Well, so much for the hope of Dorne doing something to help me out. It looks like the very last other fascist nation on Westeros is about to fall the same way the others have, and I'm going to be standing completely alone. I did try to help them out by starting my advance from my fallback position, and that has worked a little bit, but I've taken a ton of casualties. You can see I'm completely out of manpower again. So we've started our breakout. We're still 2 months away from the first coup taking place, and that, of course, is in... There we go. Dorne's out, and now Dorne is an enemy as they have changed sides. Looks like fascist party's only at 33% there in the north, so not going to necessarily get a lot of help against House Stark. The Lannisters, on the other hand, let's see where they're at. That one's at 62% fascist now. It's not allowing me to stage a coup, though, because they've actually already become fascist. So it looks like the fascists did take over here, but that doesn't seem like it's leading to... Oh, hey, civil war in Dorne. It doesn't seem like House Lannister switching over to fascist has done me any favors because they're still apparently allied with my other enemies. So I don't know what's going to happen here with Dorne. Looks like we've got communism for the first time. So that's kind of interesting. Doesn't do me any good, though. And things are not going so well at the moment. We got 1.5 months still. So the commune of Dorne has jumped in on my side, but again, meaningless. So you can see the situation is November of 1942, and it's dire. It's real dire. I've pushed out a little bit in my attempt to be super aggressive, but in 3 days, the coup is going to kick off in House Stark, and I desperately need that to be at least somewhat successful if I'm going to have any chance at all. I don't know how well it's going to be successful, but there we can see. I guess this is probably the fascist. No, that's the Democratic part. This is the fascist area. Under Sansa. Sansa is the leader of the fascist faction of House Stark. So that's kind of cool. I cannot create a faction with her, but we will certainly sign a non-aggression pact. And let's take a look and see just how powerful they are. Wow. Not much. That's really kind of disappointing. I figured with a third of House Stark, they'd have a little bit more going for them than 17 to 37 divisions. I don't know when my next coup kicks off, but boy, I hope it's going to be more successful than that one. So let's take a look. That's probably going to signal the end for me, because I don't think there's going to be enough help happening. Okay, the coup is going to kick off here in another day in House Tully. There we go. So we've got 2 coups going now. Man, I really need the Lannisters to jump in on my side on this thing, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, even though they're 66% fascist. So, okay. So let's see where we're at now. All right, we gained a little bit more manpower from House Tully, but still outnumbered significantly. There, all those wars get joined. So that'll take a little of the pressure off, and you can see I'm actually already starting to make more progress now. But I think we're just delaying the inevitable at this point. We've got 91 total divisions. What is this? Non-aggression pact with the other House Tully. All right, we'll see what happens. Well, the Tully coup is already complete, and it looks like the Stark one's not far behind. So that did not help me nearly as much as I was hoping it would. Just not enough power there. So we did push out a little bit, but I think I'm just delaying the inevitable, like I said. So we'll play this out a little bit more, but I think I'm probably working a forever losing battle, because the only way I think this really works as the Army of the Dead is if you're able to pick off one country at a time. And because they all ganged up on me so quickly, it really kind of put me in a difficult position. Yeah, I'd say that's the end for the Army of the Dead. They've taken Castle Black away from me. They've surrounded and destroyed a number of my divisions. I'm down to just 74, 73. My manpower's under 1 million. I've lost 5 million. So I think that spells the end. So we're going to go ahead and end this. So that did not go the way I would have hoped. And this is only a 2-parter for this series. But I thought it would just be something fun and something a little different to do, to play as the Army of the Dead with Game of Thrones out now. So let me know your thoughts on the mod. Would you like to see me play the mod again? Maybe take on a different house next time? Or do you want to see something different? You want to talk about Game of Thrones and what's happening in the show? If you're a fan of the show, any and all that stuff, use the comment section below. And we will see you again soon with more videos and other gameplay. Thanks for watching.